Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss print media companies. Indian print media market, the world's largest with more than 70,000 newspaper and 100 million copies sold daily, is undergoing the most challenging period since past 24 months. The growth of the industry was impacted by demonetization and also by the implementation of Real Estate Regulation Act and GST. Both of this had adversely impacted the advertising revenue growth. While much of the disruption is now behind us, the rise in the newsprint prices is a concerning area. So while the print industry is facing tough times, what whips our interest in the sector? There are multiple reasons for the same, and we are motivated to look at the two leading print media companies, that is Jagran Prakashan and DB Corp. So let's look at the key highlights for the sector. Before getting into nitty-gritty of financials and valuation of print media companies, we try to answer the moot question first. Is a newspaper industry on the brink of extinction because of the advent of digital world? We don't think so. Print isn't dying yet. Readership trends in India still looks very promising and have grown at 8% compounded annual growth rate in the last 4 years. The surge in readership was mainly driven by Hindi and the regional language newspapers and mostly from rural and semi-urban areas. The another factor that is impacting the industry today is the rise in the newsprint prices, and we would like to talk about the same. Newsprint cost, which accounts for more than 50% of the total cost for newspaper companies, has witnessed steep increase and is expected to remain elevated for the rest of the fiscal year. Most Indian companies rely on imported newsprint, and hence they face double whammy. The first from the rise in the newsprint prices and second from depreciating rupee. Consequently, the profitability of most print media companies was adversely impacted, with operating margins collapsing anywhere between 400 to 800 basis points for FY19 so far. So, while the margins of print media companies are getting suppressed in the current fiscal year, we think that they should stabilize going forward in FY20. And there are two main reasons for us to believe the same. The first is elections. Elections will give much needed impetus to the print sector. Advertising revenue grew by 7% during FY14 national elections. Taking cue from same, we anticipate a healthy growth in advertising revenue in FY20 as well. And last but not the least, the biggest respite for the newspaper companies will come from the fall in the crude prices. The recent fall in crude prices will help halt the rise in newsprint prices and consequently will be beneficial to the most newspaper companies in India. So what's the outlook for the sector and which are the stocks that investors should look at? FY18 was an aberration. FY19 too has been a difficult year so far for the print media companies. Earnings have been downgraded and the stock prices have significantly corrected. As a result, the leading newspaper companies or the print media companies, that is Jagran Prakashan and DB Corp, are trading at a historical low valuations. Their current valuation is pricing in the most concerns the companies are facing today. With return on equity still in mid-teens and valuations having collapsed, the risk-reward has turned extremely favorable. A potential bump up in advertising revenue will be the key catalyst for these stocks. Overall, we feel that the attractive valuation with upside triggers make Jagran Prakashan and DB Corp safer bets heading into an election season.